Hey everyone, welcome back to Travel Tip Tuesday with the Travel Mug Podcast. We're so happy you're here. I mean, where else could you be?
Yeah.
Um, so this week I thought I would take some time to talk about something we're all doing anyway, but just in a more broad sense. And that's when you're traveling, take lots of pictures of yourself. That sounds so narcissistic, but we do live in an age, of course, of cell phones and selfie sticks and social media. And when we travel, we're often embarrassed to say to other people, do you mind getting a picture of us? Asking other people. Well, I'm not embarrassed about it, but Peter's definitely embarrassed. I'm actually even that person that if I see a group of people and one of them has stepped out to take a picture of the group, I'm like, did you want me to take that? And Peter's just like, oh my God, would you stop? I don't know why he gets embarrassed, but that's his moment of embarrassment. But I'm like, hey, I'm trying to help these people make a memory, And, we need not as many selfies. We need to actually be posing, I think, like in front of places we may never see again. And that's where other people can come in to sort of like take those photos. Selfie sticks do help. You're not always with people. In Iceland, if we had to depend on other people, we would have 0 pictures of ourselves because there weren't ever people and the sheep weren't interested.
No.
So, and if you're traveling as a couple, sometimes you get home and it looks like you traveled separately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you stand there, I'll get a picture of you. Well, you stand there, I'll get a picture of you. So selfie stick are other people. And I think too, in the age of social media, we think, oh, we have to ensure like the picture is perfect. Well, we're not wasting film here, people. Like, in case you kids don't know what film is, pictures used to have this roll that went in them and you had to develop it. So that was tough, but that's not what we're doing here. And sometimes I even say to Peter, like, because he's like, no, don't bother to take that picture. And I'm like, it'll be for like our own memories. So you don't always have to think, oh, I'm going to post this either. Even if it's something silly, just take the picture anyway. If you're tired looking after a long day of exploring, take it anyway. You don't need to worry about that kind of thing because you're not always going to be sharing. Some fun, even though I know this is hard to believe, can be kept private.
Yeah. Wow.
We don't share every moment of our lives. I know that's what. And another aspect of this that I wanted to just mention briefly too is when you come home, a lot of people, me included, and I'm guilty of this, you just leave your pictures on your phone or you upload them to your computer and you never do anything with them. At least back them up. I mean, that's a huge thing. But really, we should be printing a few of those and being proud with like a physical reminder around our homes of things we've done and explored. I have a friend and she does that from every single trip she takes. And there's either albums or framed photos on the wall from all of our trips. And I think it's a really great idea and something that we don't do as much anymore because we don't have to have film developed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you guys like use a selfie stick? Do you ask other people to take pictures? What's your sort of picture scheme when you're away?
I guess so. We actually don't own a selfie stick, which is but I guess the last couple of trips we've traveled with friends, and then we're also lucky at Disney. There are like professional photographers around the parks that we've bought like the photo package before and you get digital photos, or they'll also take a picture with your phone or camera or whatever. They stopped doing that during COVID, but I think they're doing it again. But anyway, the last couple of trips we've taken, we've kind of had access to either a professional photographer or friends that were around. So this trip will be a little bit different, although we will be with friends for part of it, but definitely want to make sure that we are at least asking other people or at least getting a selfie if nothing else. So it looks like we did travel together.
Right.
It's funny, like recently we were at my best friend's parents' house and they have this frame photo on the wall, which they've had it on the wall my entire existence going to their house. And it's my best friend's mom feeding a kangaroo and a deer at the same time in a park. I know, it's so cute. And my husband was asking about it while we were waiting for dinner to be ready. And she pulled out her whole album of this trip that they took in the 80s to Australia and Singapore. And it was just like really fun for us to look through it. And I just loved it so much. And I could tell that they loved like sharing that with us. And it just reminded me that I do need to print photos. I did used to scrapbook. And I did enjoy doing that. And I haven't done it for probably 10 years. So I have scrapbooks from previous trips, but now I also just have like a whole bunch of stuff and photos that have never been printed that I'm like, someday I'll get around to that. But like, never, it's not happening. So I should at least just print the photos and stick them in an album. So at least I have that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Awesome. Well, hopefully, get out there and like think about how to take pictures differently. I mean, it's even maybe an idea of arranging one of our pals from flytographer.com to wherever city you visit in the world. Maybe they have a photographer there so that you could get professional photos done. I mean, that's an idea. But that is it for this week's Travel Tip Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully this is a bit of inspiration in terms of photos. As for us, you can find us as always wherever you download your podcast. We would love for you to leave a review for us on Apple or Spotify. Feel free to like buy us a coffee. You get some fun bloopers. Not me, Jen. Jen does all the bloopers. I'm just kidding. And the link is in the show notes for that. And thanks so much for your support. Until next time, bye.